And welcome on in to another episode, Getting Well with Terry and Friends. I'm Terry, Nick beside me, Dave down below, and we are ready to break down some Tuesday baseball. I guess I'll start off the show with, if you watched yesterday's show and you tailed anything that I recommended, it all won. Yesterday was a sweep for me on the show, which is really awesome. Normally, after something like that, I kind of want to go lower volume. But then, of course, we got today's slate, and it's I like this game, I like this game, I like this game, I like this game. And it's like, okay, well, here we go. So lots of free picks coming today for me. But we're going to get into the first game here, the Cubs and the Nationals. I'm going to talk about one pitcher, and I'll let the other guys talk about the other pitcher. Looking here at the odds of this game, minus 165 for the Cubs to minus 175. Washington plus 135 to plus 145. 8.5s right across the board here in this one. Justin Steele has pitched pretty well for the Cubs. In his last 7 games, he's a 1.95 ERA for the Cubs. He's been pitching really well in this one. In his last 3 games, total, he's given up 2 earned runs. Yes, he only went 4.2 innings against Miami, 3.2 innings against San Francisco, and then the 6 innings against Washington. But he has pitched very well when he's been out there. He's actually striking guys out too. 9 strikeouts against Washington in his last game. He had 10 strikeouts against Miami in 4.2 innings and 6 strikeouts against the Giants in only 3.2 innings. So that's absolutely insane that he's going less than 5 innings and still hitting big strikeout props. So that would be something to look into. For me, Cubs first 5 minus a half, Cubs full game minus 1.5, and we will turn it to Dave, and he can introduce his prison wife. Dave, what do you think here? Cubs and Nationals.
Patrick Corbin is my sports betting Viagra. All he's done, he's been an ATM. He's my little dollar bill farter. That's what I call him. And he's so bad that you wonder when it's going to stop, but it just hasn't. This is how bad the Nationals pitching situation is. Instead of dropping him down to the minors, they gave him a break. That to me says that they don't have any options really, or they don't have the bullpen. They don't have anything else but to keep this pathetic loser on their team. Let's talk about the Cubs first. The Cubs hit left-handed pitching horribly. This is why this game is so exciting. We're going to see how bad Corbin is. Last 2 weeks, 177 average, 531 OPS, 52 WRC plus. That's the Cubs' last 2 weeks. So we're going to see if the Cubs come out and we win the bet that I'm putting out, which is the first 5 innings Cubs run line. If we win that, we're going to fade Corbin blindly. We're not going to even cap the game. That's how bad this guy is, because this Cubs team can't hit left-handed pitching. One other thing to say about Corbin, which is of note, because I don't really have to dive in too much with him because I've done it all season, but this is something I noticed. Most of the time in this era of pitching, pitchers will get about half of the games they pitch, starting pitchers, half of them they'll get the decision. The other half, a reliever will. That's about what the number is. We're not in the day anymore of 7-8 innings as the average pitch. Complete games are almost to nothing. So that usually happens. Patrick Corbin's pitched 23 times. He's had 20 decisions, and he's 4-16. I usually don't look at the losing. I don't look at the record usually for the record's sake, but I'm looking at how many decisions he has. That's basically saying Patrick Corbin gets so far behind early in the game that his team never comes back, and they don't have the bats to come back. But that's how bad this guy is. So any bet you want to put on the Cubs, let's do it. I'm not even worried that the Cubs aren't hitting left-handed pitching.
Perfect. Before we get to Nick, Dana asks, any thoughts on the 8.5 total in this game? For me, obviously with Corbin, you want to take the over, but Steele's pitched pretty well. So that would kind of lean me. I think just if you wanted to take the Cubs team total, but no real opinion in the game. As Davis said, the Cubs have struggled against lefties, so this will be a huge test for them. Dave, any thoughts on the total?
No, I think Nick does, but I don't know because you never. I actually think it might be an under, but I want the Cubs to smash the hell out of the ball, so I'm staying away from it.
All right, Nick, what do you think about the game and the total?
Well, if you're looking to take the total here, take the full game out of it. Take both teams out of it. Just take the Cubs. Because I don't know if we can rely on the Nationals to score you runs like the way you could. This game could easily be a Cubs team total over, but a full game under. This could be 6-0 Cubs. I also kind of like, and I don't remember the last time I bet one of these. I have a small bet on the yes run first inning because I believe two of Corbin's last 3 starts, he's failed to make it out of the first inning. He's that bad. And yeah, you mentioned how bad the Nationals pitching situation is. Who else do they have to bring up right now? Are you going to bring up someone like Mackenzie Gore, potentially, who they got in that Soto trade? Maybe. But, I mean, Patrick Corbin, you're paying him the amount you're paying him not to send it down to AAA. So, unfortunately, the Nationals kind of screwed themselves with that contract. But, yeah, for me, this was pretty simple. Fade Patrick Corbin type of day. Yes, run first inning. I like that. I have a small bet on the Cubs team total over. But my main bets were actually the first 5 full game run lines.
I like that Yurfie, especially if it. What are the odds?
I got the Yurfie at -110.
That's great. I'm much more of a Yurfie fan than a Nerfie fan. I know everyone's a Nerfie, but I love the Yurfie.
I rarely bet them to begin with.
Yeah.
I'll sometimes, if I like a first 5 under, I'll sprinkle a little bit on the Nerfie. But other than that, I really don't.
I'm on that bet. I'm betting it after the show for sure.
All right. Moving along to the next game. I wasn't going to add this game in. I was going to take it out, but kept it in anyways. We'll talk about it. I'll probably spend more time on others, but Baltimore, Toronto. You can find Baltimore plus 175 to plus 170, plus 182. Toronto minus 205 to minus 225. 8.5. I do see a 9 available in this one. I didn't take the over in Manoah's last start when these two teams faced. It once again went over. That over streak has continued, not only in Toronto, but between these games in general. It's a whole run lower here, 8.5. I get it. It's Manoah on the mound. Trust me. I'm one of his biggest supporters. But he's been giving up runs as of late. He hasn't been his Cy Young caliber self that he started the year off with. He has been letting in runs. And I do think he will definitely let in a couple runs. Mountcastle is most likely in the lineup. I mentioned yesterday, home run, total bases, RBI, whatever you wanted, bet Mountcastle. He hit a home run. I watched it and kind of shook my head. I don't like fading my own team, so I didn't bet it. But I did have actually him in a personal 4-team hit parlay. I did have Mountcastle, and that actually cashed as well. So go right back to Mountcastle here. Yes, it's Alek Manoah, but he has been giving up a couple runs at least, and I do think Baltimore will get 2 off him. So I am on the over 8.5, continuing that streak. But I'm also on the Toronto run line plus 100. I think Toronto kind of wakes up in this game, hits Kramer pretty well, and the Jays kind of end their losing streak here with this one. But I do like the over 8.5 a little bit more. Nick, Orioles, Blue Jays, what do you think here?
Yeah, and here's proof that I do play favorites as well. I'm not just strictly a dogs guy. I'm on the Blue Jays run line in this game. And I've said this a few times. When I look at this Blue Jays team, there's 2 things that I'll trust on this team. And that's Kevin Gausman and it's Alek Manoah. Other than that, I don't trust the rest of this pitching staff. And those are the only 2 times I can feel confident backing the Blue Jays. That's what I did for this one here. I laid the run line at -105. Alek Manoah, I like him an awful lot. He was one of those guys I had written down to win the Cy Young earlier in the year. I think he's still a top 6 type of candidate. And then Dean Kramer, I looked his road stats. He's about 0.6 runs worse on the road with his ERA. So he has been a little bit more susceptible on the road than he is at home. And they are in Toronto, where generally Toronto does play a little bit better. They are coming in off of a loss here, Toronto. So I'm going to take a shot here with the Blue Jays on the run line at -105.
All right. So me and Nick agree. I will say this, though. If the Jays can't win this game,
That's a problem.
Yeah, then I'm ready to hit the panic button. I haven't hit the panic button yet. Yesterday, obviously, was Kikuchi, enough said. But I've been ready to hit the panic button. My hand's ready to hit it, but I haven't hit it yet. We'll see what happens today. Dave, Orioles, Jays, what do you think here?
So I don't have a play. So here's the deal. Yesterday was a very obvious Orioles play for me and for a lot of people. It's just the bad pitching. And the Jays have been very streaky. You know, it's kind of disappointing because when you look at their lineup, they should be smashing. In fact, they have some good pitching and some weak pitching, but their bats should be so strong that they're always in the game, but it hasn't been the case. Now, it was right after the All-Star break. It wasn't right before, and now it isn't again. I think this is an upswing. I hope it lasts through the end of the season. They're a playoff team for sure, obviously. But if yesterday was not an uptick day to change the flow of things, today is that day. Get your best pitcher on the mound. I just don't know how to bet this game. Dean Kremer was better earlier in the season than recently, or at least the last times I've bet him. To be honest, I didn't jump into this game too much because the odds are horrible. But if you're a Toronto fan or a Toronto bettor, this is a Toronto spot.
And I just hope for Jays fans, if they make the playoffs, we don't have to see Kikuchi in a playoff game.
Yeah, they should have got Syndergaard. They need to dump him. He needs to go. They need to drop him down, pull someone up.
I don't think I don't know if this might be a hot take or whatever, but probably not. But I don't think we see Kikuchi start another game for the Blue Jays all year.
And I can take him a little bit more seriously if they put him in the bullpen.
I think that would be the case.
Pull up your best minor league pitcher,
I'm fine with Mitch White being in there and taking Kikuchi's spot.
Yeah. You have Manoah, Gosman, Mitch White, Ross Stripling, and Jose Barrios. There's your rotation right there.
Or dump him and Bo Bichette can pitch. Someone else. Anyone can pitch that guy.
If nobody saw I shared it on my Twitter. I believe Vladdy was pitching the other day.
He goes, throws his first pitch. It's an absolute nuke, and he gives up. He's like, I'm surprised Ohtani can do this.
No, he'll be a future Hall of Famer pitcher. We'll see. Going on to the next game, we have the Kansas City Royals and the I didn't write in their name there, but Kansas City and the Minnesota Twins. The Twins have been kind of struggling, have fallen off of their first place spot. You can find Kansas City plus 155 to plus 170. Minnesota at home minus 190 to minus 200. 8s, some 7.5s available in this one. This was originally going to be a pass game for me when I looked at it. But once I saw, obviously, we know Greinke on the road, but once I saw his actual stats against Minnesota, that kind of pushed me to the Twin side. I'll talk about Gray first. He's 5-2 against the Royals in his career with a 2.08 ERA. Greinke 5-11 against Minnesota with a 4.72 ERA in 23 appearances. And when going to Minnesota and Target Field, he's 1-5 with a 5.67 ERA in 8 starts. These two teams faced each other earlier in the year in Minnesota, and the Twins won 7-3 with Sonny Gray against Greinke. I wouldn't be surprised if we see somewhat of a similar result here. I'm on the Twins run line, which I don't have written down. So I actually have to bet that. But I'm going to be on the Twins minus 1.5 here, which you can find for plus 110.
I was just going to say.
Plus 105 or plus 100 to plus 110, depending on what books you have access to. But I will be adding the Twins run line in this. We'll switch it up. We'll go Dave first in this one. Royals Twins. What do you think here?
Yeah, I mean, you said it. Greinke's horrible on the road. You think that a veteran pitcher would kind of figure it out, but I just think he's stuck. I mean, his last road starts, gave up 3 runs, gave up 4 runs. I mean, he's just bad on the road, and he's so good at home, which is kind of crazy. The other thing is target field was another thing that I saw that was mentioned. He just doesn't pitch very well there. And also Minnesota's bats are actually the past 2 weeks have above average statistics, while Kansas City's sort of run-of-the-mill average. Their bullpens aren't so great, either of them. But I like Sonny Gray. I definitely like Sonny Gray against the Kansas City no-name. So it has a name down there, though, the Royals. So I'm on the Twins run line. I would have liked to take it first 5. It's juiced too much. It shows me how much better of a pitcher Sonny Gray is this year, at least, than Greinke, or in this situation. So I'm on the Twins run line.
All right. Yes, I did forget to mention I am going to be taking the Twins first 5 -1/2, which you can find for -125. That's basically my cutoff in my price.
I saw it at -130, but I'm already in on the full run line. I get some plus money.
Yeah, I'll probably sprinkle on the full game run line, but my bigger bet will be on the first 5. Nick, what do you think here? Royals and Twins.
Yeah, I'm on the same spot there. I got the full game at -1.5 plus 110. And when you look at really it's Zach Greinke, I know he's a veteran. He should be able to figure out those home road splits, but he hasn't. And it's crazy the difference between him at Kauffman Stadium and him away from it. At home this year, 4-2 with a 1.98 ERA and a 1.12 WHIP compared to on the road. He's 0-5 with a 7.16 ERA and a 1.61 WHIP. So his WHIP goes up his ERA goes up 5 runs on the road this year. So this is another spot where I don't back many favorites. But today feels like a favorite day because yesterday the dogs were barking a little bit. Probably the favorites come back and hit a little bit today. I'm on the Twins, and I also have I have a little bit of free bets from signing up with my new book. I have a free bet on the team total over 4.5 as well with the Twins.
Can't talk you off that either. We'll go along before we get to the other games and last pitch. BetStamp, use code WILD when signing up. Find the best odds for whatever you are looking for. Line shopping is super important. Sign up for as many books as you can. Use code WILD when signing up. Follow me there at Let's Go Wild Picks. Moving on along. This game is going to get interesting. This game is going to get very interesting. Passion on both sides here. Dodgers and the Brewers. I'm actually going to let Nick go first, but I am going to bring up the odds here. Seconds. So you can find the Dodgers currently for plus 105 to plus 115. You can find Milwaukee minus 119 to minus 135 at one spot. 8 and some 8.5s available in this one. Nick, what do you think? Dodgers and Brewers.
This is one of my favorite plays I've had in, I want to say, weeks, honestly. I love the Brewers in this spot. They have a massive pitching advantage. Bedoya for the Dodgers here in the last 30 days has a higher FIP and a higher Sierra than Patrick Corbin. I know he comes out of he hasn't pitched that much in the last 30 days, but he's not somebody that should be or that I trust with the Dodgers here. And on the other side, you're getting the ace for the Milwaukee Brewers. And I think that it tells you everything you need to know that the Dodgers have won 13 of 14 games. They've covered the run line in all 13 of those games. But the Brewers are the favorite in this game, and the line's only moved towards the Brewers in this one here. I bypassed the Brewers money line. I took them on the run line here at plus 170. I love the Brewers to be able to hit off of Bedoya today. I also took a small flyer on the Brewers team total over 3.5. Part of one of the free bets that I have, and I just think this is a spot where the books know what they're doing. The books know what they're doing. They know that tons of money is going to come in on the Dodgers at plus money because everybody's been riding this Dodgers team throughout the last 2 weeks. And it's been hitting every day, and now they're seeing them with the plus price tag next to their name. I think that this is one of the biggest traps I've seen in weeks with the Dodgers. I love the Brewers in this spot. This is one of my favorite plays of the day. It's my best bet spoiler. Is the Brewers run line.
All right. Spoiler for me, my best bet is Dodgers money line. I hate when the best bets go against each other. Trust me, I do. But in this spot here, yes, I don't know how you pronounce his name. He's here. How you?
Patoy, I have no idea.
It looks like papaya. I'm going to say papaya. I'm just going to call him Ryan. His first name's Ryan. We'll just call him Ryan. We'll call him Ryan. Okay. So Ryan has pitched in 5 games this year. He gave up more than 2 earned runs. He gave up more than 1 earned run in 2 games. Yes, he has only pitched once in August, once in July. The other 3 games were in May. Yes, he only goes about 3 to 5 innings, so he isn't going a whole lot. But he has actually pitched pretty well in most of the games he's appeared in. And when he has been on the road in his 2 appearances, he has a 1.23 ERA. Yes, in only 7 innings, but he has been pretty good on the road. For me here, the Brewers still have a huge pitching advantage with Woodruff. I think the Brewers should be favorites in this game. I do think they should be approximately minus 105. Minus 110, minus 115. But I don't think they should be minus 120, minus 130 in this one. I'm on the Dodgers, not just because they're plus money, not just because I've cashed with them over and over and over again the last few weeks. But this Brewers team is overrated, in my opinion. They're a good team, but they're not nearly on this Dodgers level. I am on the Dodgers first 5. I'm on Dodgers money line plus 115 and Dodgers minus 1.5 plus 170. I want to be surprised to see the Brewers leading after 5 innings. So this would be another look for the Brewers first 5, Dodgers full game at probably a nice plus price. But I think Dodgers will come out on top here against this Brewers team. Yes, it's Dodgers at plus money, but the books are about to lose out tonight. They're about to pay out a lot of money in this game, in my opinion. But hey, the Dodgers have been swept by the Pittsburgh Pirates. They have been swept. They lost to the Nationals. So this team can be beat. But the difference between those series and this one, I don't think the Dodgers are going to overlook this Brewers team as they are a team contending for their division. So I think we do get a motivated Dodgers team that will come out on top at the end. Dave, kind of be our tiebreaker here. You're right in the middle, Dave in the middle. Dodgers, Brewers, what do you think here?
So I agonized over this game last night for hours, and ultimately I don't have a bet, so I'm not going to be a tiebreaker, but I have a lot to say about it. One thing I've learned in handicapping is when things don't make sense, sometimes you're right, but when things really don't make any sense, there's probably a reason why. So for me, I'm not even looking at PP or whatever his name is for the Dodgers. I'm looking at one of the best lineups in baseball, one of the best bullpens the past 2 weeks in baseball, a team that we've seen, just like the Yankees, get down huge 5-run deficits and come back to win the game. So it doesn't make any sense why Woodruff, he's fine. The Brewers, they're whatever. And they're actually dead to me because I'm not betting the Brewers until 2023. I've said that. They've burned me in the beginning of the season. It makes no sense to me why this is moving. Not only are the Dodgers a dog, but it's moving towards the Brewers. So I took a bet earlier in the season with the same situation, and I forget who the pitcher was. I think it was Urias that was pitching for the Dodgers, and the White Sox were favored at home. And I said, this looks fishy. Took the White Sox, and they beat the Dodgers. This one looks even fishier to me because the Dodgers are tried and true. I don't know what I'd do even if a gun was to my head. So I'm staying off, but that's the information I have. Take with it what you may. But when one of the best teams in baseball is a dog, you need to consider both sides very carefully.
All right. So, yeah, that's kind of in the middle. You're kind of either one of us, me or Nick, one of us is going to be right. One of us will be wrong.
No, we'll both be wrong when the Brewers win by 1 run.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, that would be kind of depressing.
Okay, so I'm taking Brewers money line so that I win everything.
There we go.
I'm not taking that.
Yes, I would not recommend that, but that's just my opinion. Going on to the next one here. Of course, this game has to be on the slate. Probably one of the most talked about games on today's slate. We have the two leading Cy Young candidates pitching against each other. If the odds are correct, they're the two leading Cy Young candidates. You have Houston minus 123 to minus 133. The White Sox plus 105 to plus 111. Sevens, a couple 6.5s available in this one. This might be the most public play ever, but I took the first 5 under 3.5 at minus 109. I looked at the two pitchers on the slate, and I don't know. I've taken under 3.5s before, not really liked it, but this one is like where else can you go in this game? I know some people might have an opinion on the side, which is totally cool, but someone going over in this game, I don't know how somebody could take an over with the two pitchers we have. But hey, anybody can get hit on any night, so crazier things have happened. This is baseball, but I like the first 5 under 3.5. Nick, Astros, White Sox, what do you think here?
This game I wanted basically nothing to do with. This is one of those games where it feels so painfully obvious that the under is the play, that it's going to finish 5-3 tonight. Like, I can honestly see that happening where both these pitchers go out. And I think if you do like the under, the first 5 is definitely the look here. Even with the Houston bullpen being elite, I can see both these bullpens getting tagged a little bit late in the game. And all of a sudden it's 3-3 in the 8th inning after these two pitchers leave and it's 1-1. So this game, if I had to go anywhere, I feel like the value may be on the over. Honestly, maybe look at a yes run first inning, which you can get for plus money. Because I have a feeling this has one of those games where it could be 1-0 at the end of the 5th, and the only run is a Yordan Alvarez home run or a Jose Altuve home run in the first inning. Like that has one of those feels to it. And then the offense shows up once these two Cy Young level candidates are removed from the game. So this has the feel of should obviously be the under, but it's going to finish 5-3. I didn't bet this game though. I would look only towards an over though in this game because it's just so painfully obviously under that it just feels too easy to me. And I'm surprised this line hasn't moved to 6.5 on all books. And that really concerns me as well.
Bad Nick, under 7 all day, says Tim Earl.
I did not bet this game. I just have this weird feeling. It's a gut play that I didn't bet that this game finishes 5-3.
For me today, this first 5 under, and anything involved in the Cubs, I think are going to be really public plays.
Yep.
But I'm not scared of being on the public side. They do cash sometimes, right? So it's not like the public loses every time, but it may be painfully obvious, but I still had to take it anyways.
I'm not gonna talk you off of it. It's just I did not bet it. I mean, the numbers all point towards an under. This just has one of those feelings that this could be 3-3 in the 8th, and then you're pushing at best at the 7.
Yeah, that's why I went first 5 under.
First 5 only, obviously.
Dave, Astros, White Sox. What do you think of this one?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong. I mean, I am a contrarian bettor, especially early on in baseball. Less right now because I think the books have kind of dialed in on what the odds are. But the public's right half the time too. They're not always betting the sharpest when they should. But this is an obvious under, just like the Cubs bet play, or at least first 5. That's what I'm on. I have no problem taking the obvious bet. I mean, we know how great Justin Verlander is. It's Tom Brady-esque what he's doing, pitching the best he's ever done in his late 30s. But Dylan Cease has been great, particularly the last 31 innings. That's his last 5 starts. He's had 3 runs, 0.87 ERA. just completely two shutout pitchers. The only thing that concerns me, because the Astros bats don't, until they pick up, they've been really slow, especially against right-handed pitching. Until they pick up, even though they have the lineup, I'm not too scared of them. We saw them only score 2 runs last night. And Chicago's bats have actually been, slightly above average, but their isolated power has been below average, 125. That means they're just slapping singles all over the place. I'm fine with that, 4 or 5 hits in the game. But this game could be 0-0 until, to the 6th or 7th inning with both pitchers in. Under first 5, that's my bet.
All right. And we will quickly, not quickly, we'll go through the rest of the slate here and last pitch. And I will just go through the rest of the games, some that I'll be passing on, but more that I like than usual. Phillies and the Reds. This is a game I'm passing, but it is Tuesdays, which is Fade Phillies Day. However, Gibson has been pitching well, and Zoik in his one game against the Mets, the team who must not be named, he got lit up. So you have to keep that in mind. But I can't trust fading the Phillies today in this spot, but it is Fade Phillies Tuesday. And it's also Taco Tuesday. I can't wait to go make tacos after this show. Sorry to make everybody hungry, but Taco Tuesday. Going on to the next one, Padres and Marlins. I'm taking Miami first 5 plus a half, which I got at minus 120. I think they have the better pitcher here in Cabrera. Manaea has been pretty bad this year. The Marlins actually beat the Padres 7-0 earlier this year and hit Manaea. Manaea is a lefty. I am shocked that I'm taking the Marlins against a lefty because they are the worst team against lefties. So if anybody was looking at a total in this game, I would actually look towards the under, even with Manaea, because I don't think they get 7 runs against him like last time. But Miami first 5 plus a half, minus 120, a good price. I liked it, so I took it. Boston and Pittsburgh, Pivetta against Mitch Keller. Mitch Keller has actually pitched really well lately, and it's Nick Pivetta on the other side. Give me Pittsburgh first 5 plus a half at minus 123. I know a lot of people like to take the money lines. Yes, you could get the money line at plus money, but I don't trust the Marlins and the Pirates to be leading enough to take the money line. I'd rather win with the plus a half. So that's my view. But to each his own. Yankees and Rays, total pass for me. I can't back the Yankees right now, but I don't really want to back the Rays either. So a pass. The way the pitchers are looking, maybe an under, but the Yankees bullpen doesn't inspire confidence. So maybe a first 5 under, but nothing for me. Tigers against Guardians, another pass. Plesac, not very good, but he pitches well against the Tigers for whatever reason. So keep that in mind. Team who must not be named against the Braves, no opinion. Move on along. Rockies and Cardinals, Freeland and Quintana. Nick rolls his eyes. I am on the St. Louis Cardinals minus 1.5 for plus 100. This Cardinals team is just a lot better than the Rockies. They're at home. Quintana's actually pitched really well lately. And Freeland, a pitcher I like to fade. So give me Cardinals minus 1.5. Athletics Rangers, give me Oakland first 5. This time I did take the money line because I was priced out of the plus a half. But I like JP Sears. I think that was a good trade for the Athletics. And I think he's going to be a good pitcher for them going forward. So I'm happy to back him here against the Rangers and a 30-year-old Kohei Arihara. Yeah, who's 2-4 and 10 games in the MLB last year with a 6.64 ERA. Obviously hasn't pitched this year. Who knows what could happen? But give me Oakland first 5 money line. Nothing in the final game, Diamondbacks and Giants. Merrill Kelly against Junis. It would be a lean towards the Diamondbacks and the under in some capacity, but not getting to it. But I am going to get to that Seattle Mariners and Angels game. Give me Robbie Ray over 7.5 strikeouts at minus 125. We'll probably be adding over 8.5 strikeouts plus money as well. Robbie Ray, a great strikeout pitcher against the Angels, who we all know strikes out a bunch. He just got 10 strikeouts in his last game against them. And I think it's fair to ask him to get 8 or 9 in this one if you want to take the over 8.5 for plus money. But that is it for me on the slate. I haven't got to my parlays yet, so I'm already way high volume, but I will have a few parlays. Teams that I'm looking at, Cubs money line, Toronto money line, Minnesota money line, and St. Louis money line. 4 big favorites, but that's why I parlay them. So I will be looking at those 4 in some capacity in parlays, maybe some same game parlays. If you want to look at George Springer for Toronto, Guerrero, Mountcastle for Baltimore. I recommend to everybody watching, bet anything to do with Mountcastle and thank me tomorrow. Nick, last pitch. What do you think here?
Yeah, I'm on Miami first 5 money line with Edward Cabrera. I think that he's potentially the real deal as well. He's had really good numbers. I mean, in his first start, he went out and I think gave up 1 hit in 6 innings at Coors Field. So I think that Cabrera is going to be someone to watch out for, especially at nice plus money. Took him here first 5 money line against the Padres. It is Tuesday with the Phillies. I have a bunch of smaller bets with free play money I got for my first deposit with BetUS. So I have a small play on the first 5 plus a half. I didn't want to take the money line because if it pushes, it's basically the same as a loss with free play money. So first 5 plus a half with the Reds is a small thing I took there. We went over the Cubs game with the Braves and Beetlejuice because apparently we're not allowed to say their name.
You are.
I know. I just had to make a reference there. But no, I took small bet, free play money of the Mets first 5 plus the half. They hit Morton last time they saw him. I think they can him again. So lean towards the Mets to bounce back after that embarrassing loss last night. Cardinals and Rockies. I'm on the first 5 under 4. I also have a free play on the Nerfy as well. I think that we see a lower scoring game. I like Quintana a little bit, and just the market's pointing me towards that. Dodgers and Brewers, we already went over it. And then I have free bets on the first 5 plus a half with the Diamondbacks in the full game. Money line with the Diamondbacks. I like the first 5 under 4 with the Rays and the Yankees. Also with free plays on the team total under with the Yankees and the Nerfy. Nothing else with that Jays game. Or we already went over the Jays. Nothing in the Guardians game. And we already went over the Twins. Didn't get it to anything in the Rangers. Athletics. Stayed away from Astros and White Sox. With Seattle and LA, took a small shot on the plus half with the Angels in the first 5 with the free play, and then I'm raising the Jolly Roger for the first 5 with the Pirates, and also took a free play on their team total over 3.5.
So I thought I was high volume. Nick
I got a lot of free bets.
Yeah,
These are all small, like $20 bets. The small free bets because they gave me $400 worth of free play money with the match deposit or whatever.
Nick always has to beat me out. I think I'm going to be high volume. And he goes, no, I'm just kidding. It's okay. Dave, last pitch. What do you think here?
So I'm wondering if we're calling the Mets Voldemort, are we calling the Braves Gryffindor or Harry Potter? I don't know. I have 2 other bets. I'm not as high volume today, although I could have pulled the trigger on a lot. I just didn't. I'm chicken. Marlins first 5. That's the play. Only thing I'm going to add. These guys talked about it. Manaya is the 4th least profitable pitcher first 5 innings. If you bet on the Padres first 5 inning money line when he's pitching, you would have gone 5-11-5 and lost over 7 units. That's good enough for me just on that alone. And then I also like the under first 5 under 4 and the Rays and Yankees. 2 good pitchers. The Rays don't hit. The Yankees haven't been hitting. That seems like this is the obvious day. I don't have any hot takes at all. So, I mean, that's either a really good sign or a really bad sign for all of us.
All right. The Jays lineup was just announced. Springer, Guerrero, Gurriel, Kirk, Chapman,
You don't
Hernandez,
like Kirk?
Bichette, Espinal, Jackie
Kirk
Bradley.
is a sexy human being. I don't know what you're talking about.
Kirk is Kruk Jr., John Kruk Jr. for all the old folks.
He's part of the club of peak male athleticism.
He is. I'm catching because he always catches Manoah's starts. But no, I'm not a fan of Kirk. I've seen
all-star.
Yes, he's a very good hitter, but I don't like his catching. The position he's supposed to play. He's not very good. So, in my opinion, I don't like him. So, hey, Blue Jays. I do like his hitting skills, but I do not like his catching skills.
It's just like females, you know, the small, the short, chubby baseball player is kind of attractive sometimes.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, that's why they're part of the club of peak male athleticism. He joins Rowdy Tellez, Daniel Vogelbach, and Bartolo Colon.
Yep. He's not Bartolo Colon status yet.
No. Bartolo Colon's on the top of that list.
Yeah.
Always will be.
Shocker, Nick. Shocker. But we will go on to the best bet segment. We'll start with over under. For me, Baltimore, Toronto, over 8.5. Enough said. Nick, Yankees, Tampa Bay, first 5 under 4.
I got an interesting question when it comes to totals here. Could first inning over under half a run be a play? Because technically it's still a total. It's only for one inning though.
Yeah. Technically it's a total. So it's never been used before. But hey, whatever you think is going to win, you're allowed to throw out there.
All right, cool. I was just interested in that.
Tim is going Houston, Chicago White Sox under 7. Ryan is going with St. Louis, Colorado over 7.5. Dave, what do you think here for total?
Stros, White Sox, first 5 under 3.5.
That would have been mine, but I chose the Toronto over because that streak has just been insane. For me, dog of the day, Dodgers money line. Nick is going with Miami. Tim is going with the Arizona Diamondbacks. And Ryan is going with the Chicago White Sox. Dave, is there a dog that you like today?
No. I mean, there are. Nothing that I bet, and I don't give out advice that I don't bet. So
smart. Good decision. We'll go on to best bets, best parlay pieces. For me, best bet, best parlay piece, Toronto money line. You could use the Cubs, Minnesota, or St. Louis, if for that as well. Those are my 4 parlay pieces. Nick, Minnesota money line. Tim, Arizona plus 1.5, and Ryan, Cleveland Guardians money line. Dave, what do you think for parlay piece?
Let me think. I'm gonna go with the Twins run line. I know that's not it's a plus money bet, but I'm betting it, and it's another bet. We'll just throw it on the board.
Okay.
Because I don't like any big favorites or big dogs today. I'm kind of in the middle.
All right. And we'll go on to best bet. Me and Nick have already given ours out, and we are going head to head. Dodgers money line for me, plus 115. Milwaukee minus 1.5 for Nick, plus 178. Ryan also going with the Brewers, first 5 minus 0.5, plus 100. And Tim, Kansas City, Minnesota over 8, parlayed with Miami, plus 1.5 for 2 units. Dave, what do you think here? Best bet?
I'm taking the Chicago Cubs to violate Patrick Corbin in a violent manner. First 5 innings. Run line. Yep. Run line first 5.
Right. And I will.
Minus 110 on power play.
Perfect. And that is it. That is the show. Big slate for me today. Hoping to keep yesterday's. Hoping to keep it going from yesterday. Ice X says Eduardo Escobar is scratched for tonight.
They need to call up Matt Beattie.
And Tim says make sure Corbin can't walk after tonight. So, yes, there you go. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the content, smash the like button. We appreciate all the support. NHL season preview shows 1 week from today. If you are interested in coming on and talking about an NHL team, more than welcome. Send me a message at Let's Go Wild Picks or on the Getting Wild with Terry and Friends Twitter account to set it up. And we'll get you on to talk about whatever NHL team you are a fan of or you find interesting. But that is the show. Best of luck. We'll see you again tomorrow for another episode. Getting Wild with Terry and Friends. Have a good one, guys.